I had a dear friend here for years. I loved him with all my heart. Great comic, fucking superb writer. He wasn't overly exciting on stage, but he was a phenomenal writer. He knew how to write. I mean, the guy sold scripts. The guy sold a TV show. He was a phenomenal writer. There's no reason why that guy shouldn't be here today. But you want me to tell you how his ego was fanned? Let me tell you how his ego got flamed. He would open up for two people in particular. And they were huge acts. And part of his deal was that he would write for them, help them write their act, if he could feature for them and they paid him a little extra. He cut himself a nice little deal, and he would watch the headliner and write jokes for the headliner and insert tags and lines and different things to help the headliner out. But after the show, he would be standing there, the headliner would be selling T-shirts, and he'd be standing there like a Morto Vaughn, which I did for years, and when I opened for Joe Rogan. And you see people go up to Rogan, shake his hand, tell him how much they loved him, he was great, and then they'll walk over to me, and they would go, "Hey man, you did a great job." And then they would come over and whisper in my ear, "You were a lot funnier than him. Keep it up." And now, as a young comic, you could take that two ways. You could understand what just happened. This is a guy that was a fan of Rogan's, and he wanted to talk to Rogan, so he blew smoke up his ass. And now to either make me feel right, make me feel, okay about myself or whatever, he comes over and blows some smoke in my ass. Now, I could have gone home that night, called my wife and said, "Hey, you're not going to believe this. I fucking was up on stage with Rogan tonight, and 20 people fucking told me," well, let's say 3 people came up to me and said that. I'd exaggerate and say 40 people came up to me and told me I was better than Rogan all 5 fucking shows. Fuck this. I'm not opening for him no more. I'm going to go do my own fucking thing. Do you understand? I didn't do that because I knew they were blowing smoke up his ass. I watched it. The same reason why I did not like the Carlos Mencia feud with Rogan. I saw how club owners were acting. When Rogan came to town, they talked bad about Carlos, and when Carlos came to town, they talk bad about Rogan. It's a business. What the fuck do you expect? When you get to that town, you're the best fucking thing on sliced bread because you're making that club owner money. But once you leave, he's got to play that same fucking game with the comic that's coming in. And listen, you know this going in. So don't ever feel bad, whatever you do, whether you're playing professional sports, whether you're an artist, whether you're a fucking comic, whether you're an actor. Don't ever feel bad when you realize that you're just a fucking meatbag with eyes.
Something that I've noticed with you, and tell me if I'm wrong, is you definitely take stand-up seriously. But to me, I think the difference between you and some people is you treat it like it's a job still. And some people are like, "Oh, I'm an artist. I deserve this." Or like to you, it's still like, this is just what I do for a living. And it's a little bit more black and white. It seems like, so you don't leave the room for you to get a little, to let the ego come in. Because it's just a job.
Well, when you realize that when you go to the Comedy Store and you look at the picture you look at the walls, and you see the comics that have been there before you, you're going to find 3 or 4 comics that you either resemble body-wise, shape-wise, the way your material is, whatever. And then you realize that you're just replacing a void. Okay, you're just replacing a void. I'm not ashamed to say this. Okay? One of the funniest guys I ever saw on stage was Patrice O'Neal. Serious, straight up gangster, good guy on and off stage, would make you laugh off stage like he did on stage, was totally free. There's a special he did, The Elephant in the Room or something like that.
White Elephant, I guess.
It's one of the best fucking specials I've ever seen in my life, okay? Let's be honest. and God rest his soul, and God rest Ralphie's soul. Most of the people that are coming to see me today are coming to see me because there's no Patrice and there's no Ralphie.
That's what you think? Really?
The people were all in that same category. You know, they still have to fill the void. I fill that void right now. In 2 years, it'll be somebody else filling the void. But I know this going in. When I got to the store, I would look at Noe Gonzalez and see Angel Salazar. When I'd see Ralphie May, you ever go to the back of the Comedy Store, there's a picture of a big fat guy getting out of a car. He weighs about 500 pounds.
I have to look for it.
I forget what his name is. I'll point it out to you. Go in tonight to the kitchen and look at the back. There's a guy with a cowboy hat getting out of a car. He's 500 pounds. Ralphie replaced him. Wow. You know, when John Panette was on the downslope, who was hot? Ralphie. So everything, we're just replacing a void. Once you know all these things going in, why do you think I talk about knowing things going in? Knowing what your value is going in, knowing who the fuck you are when you go in, knowing where you stand. Keep your fucking mouth shut. All these things are part of it. Knowing who the fuck you are. Knowing what you stand for. Listen, I heard an expression when I was 13 years old, and I still use it today, and I use it on myself. We all put our pants on one leg at a time. You know, that's why to me, when I saw Richard Gere as a kid, I didn't go up to him and get an autograph or get a fucking picture. That's why all those things. Because at the end of the fucking day, whether it's Roberto Clemente, it's Hollywood Henderson, it's Lee Iacocca, it's Ross Perot, all the guys I look up to, at the end of the day, all put their pants on one leg at a time. What the fuck are you doing? Jumping up and down for, I'm going to see this movie and I'm camping out 24 hours before. Are you fucking retarded? You see them camping out for you fucking jerk off? The fuck is wrong with you? We all put our pants on one leg at a time. You ever go into a job and the boss, he's the boss. Shh, you can't say this around. You know what? One day you look at him and go, fuck him. Fuck this douchebag. He puts his pants on one leg at a time, just like I do. Once you get all these basic fucking philosophies in your head, the ego cannot take over. Your ego at no part will take over because respect is part of it. You know, when do you start disrespecting people? When you think you're better than they are. What the fuck are you giggling about? Nobody...
Why did you like him? What did he do?
He did an error.
I knew a second ago, but now keep going from where you told it, because then
You know that little forehead you got?